The meeting hall, the council hall, was the grandest place in the galaxy. Made of shining crystal and hovering light panels, it floated above the capital city of Yeltra Prime. Inside, leaders from 100 species gathered. Today they discussed the latest skirmish near the outer zones, where a small border conflict had turned deadly. At the center of the room stood a human general. His black uniform was plain, with only a silver badge on his chest. His boots were covered in dust from travel. But even in silence, his presence was heavy. His name was General Mark. He had been invited by the council only because Earth demanded it. The other species still thought humans were too emotional, too new to galactic politics. Most thought Earth's forces were useful but wild. A few even saw them as dangerous. The lead speaker, a tall creature with 4 glowing eyes, raised its voice. The incident was unfortunate, it said, but it was not planned. Our soldiers believed the human woman was a spy. Murmurs rose across the chamber. Many council members nodded. Others chuckled. The laugh grew louder when another delegate added, "It was just one human civilian? Why so serious?" General Mark didn't flinch. He took one slow breath and stepped forward. His boots echoed on the smooth floor. "She was not a spy," he said in a calm, low voice. "She was a doctor, unarmed, treating your injured, not ours." The room fell quiet for a moment. Then laughter broke out again. Sharp, cold. One counselor leaned forward with a mocking smile. "A doctor on a battlefield? That's poor planning, General. Perhaps Earth should keep its women at home." Another voice added, "Your kind always makes noise over small things. It's just a casualty." That's when General Mark lifted his eyes. The laughter stopped instantly. He didn't yell. He didn't move. He simply said, "She was one of ours." The air changed. A few delegates shifted in their seats. The general's words didn't just mean the woman was human. They meant something deeper. In the eyes of humans, she wasn't just another loss. She was family. The meaning of those words spread like fire. Mark continued, his voice steady, like steel against glass. "We gave you medics, volunteers, people who came to help, not harm. And you let her die." He laughed about it. A hologram appeared beside him. It showed a burned field, a destroyed camp. A woman's figure lying still, her white coat torn and stained. Around her were alien bodies she had tried to save. Mark looked back at the council. "This was your mistake." No one laughed now, but Mark wasn't done. "Our command has reviewed the facts. This was not an accident. You knew she was ours. You used her as bait. And now you sit here smiling, hoping we'll walk away." He paused, then added, "Earth doesn't." "Walk away." The silence in the hall was louder than any alarm. Some counselors started whispering. Others looked nervous. One tried to speak, but Mark raised a hand. He wasn't finished. "Our response will not be a message. It will not be a protest. It will be a presence." He turned, walking toward the exit. "We will show you what it means to harm someone who is one of ours." The door opened as his boots touched the last step. Outside, a massive screen lit up. Behind him, in space, dozens of human warships uncloaked one by one surrounding the council's sky station. The council members stared at the screen. Wide-eyed.war hadn't been declared, but Earth had already arrived. Asterisk shadows over Yeltra Prime. The council's chambers were silent, but outside, tension filled the air like a storm about to break. The sudden appearance of Earth's warships stunned every species gathered. No one had expected such a swift and bold response. Inside the council, the leader who had laughed first clenched his fists. "This is madness," he whispered. "They threaten us without warning." General Mark's words echoed in their minds. She was one of ours. It was not just a statement. It was a warning. News spread quickly across Yeltra Prime's capital. Citizens watched giant screens showing the human fleet, sleek and ready for war. Many feared what would come next. The council called an emergency meeting. Some wanted to send envoys to negotiate. Others called for military action. But the humans had already decided their path. Meanwhile, in a quiet room aboard the flagship, Mark reviewed reports about the fallen doctor. Her name was Anna, a young medic who volunteered to serve on the front lines. She believed in helping all life, no matter the species. Anna's death had been brutal. An ambush disguised as a rescue mission. The aliens had used her as a pawn, hoping to draw Earth's forces into a trap. Mark clenched his jaw. They made a terrible mistake. He turned to his second-in-command, a calm woman named Lisa. Prepare the fleet. We'll strike hard but precise. This isn't about war for conquest. It's about justice. Lisa nodded. Understood, General. Outside the council hall, tension grew. Alien diplomats tried to contact Earth fleet, but no answers came. The humans moved silently, like hunters waiting for the perfect moment. Back in the chamber, whispers of fear replaced laughter. We underestimated Earth, one delegate admitted. They don't just send ships, they send a message. The council had laughed when the human general spoke. Now. They waited in fear of what he would do next. Asterisk, the first strike. The silence around Ultra Prime was thick and heavy. The galaxy watched as Earth's fleet moved closer. The council's leaders gathered in urgent sessions, trying to predict what would happen next. Would humans attack? Or was this all a show of power? General Mark was calm but focused. He knew. The council needed to understand Earth's message clearly. This was not a war for territory or resources. It was a war for respect and for justice for Anna at dawn. Earth's flagship, the Resolute, slipped out of its hidden position near Ultra Prime. With precision, it targeted the council's outer defense satellite's small, unmanned sentries that watched the skies. Without warning, the satellites exploded in bursts of light and debris. No human lives were lost. No council ships were harmed. The message was clear. Earth could strike, and it could do so without needless bloodshed. But the council understood what came next if they didn't act wisely. Inside the council chambers, panic spread. The laughter was gone. Instead, harsh voices debated. We must meet their demands or face destruction. The alien who had laughed first now looked defeated. He turned to his closest advisors, whispering, We have no choice but to talk. Meanwhile, General, Mark sent a transmission to the council. The woman you killed was one of ours. We will not forget. Prepare to negotiate terms for peace or prepare for the consequences. The council hesitated. No one wanted full-scale war. But they had underestimated humanity's resolve and unity. That night, in the human camp, soldiers gathered around a hologram of Anna. Her face smiled back at them. Proud and fearless, Mark spoke softly. She showed us what it means to care. We will honor her with every move we make. The next day, the council sent envoys to the Resolute to open talks. The galaxy held its breath. Would peace be possible? Or was this only the beginning of humanity's fury? Asterisk, negotiations and hidden threats. The envoys from the Galactic Council arrived aboard the Resolute, greeted by General Mark and his officers. The room was tense, filled with unspoken anger and uncertainty. The lead envoy, a tall, blue-skinned alien named Talon, spoke first. We regret the loss of your medic. It was not our intention to start a war with Earth. Mark's eyes were cold. Regret is not enough. We demand justice and guarantees that such an attack will never happen again. Talon nodded slowly. We understand. But some factions within the council act without full approval. It is not simple. Mark listened carefully. He knew that behind the formal talks, deeper conflicts brewed. The council was not united. Meanwhile, a secret group of aliens watched the negotiations through hidden cameras. They whispered among themselves, plotting to sabotage any peace. They wanted the war to continue to weaken Earth and the council alike. Back on the Resolute, Mark made it clear to the envoys. If justice is delayed or denied, Earth will take matters into its own hands. The council envoys promised to investigate the attack and bring the guilty to account. But Mark sensed they were only buying time. Outside the meeting room, soldiers prepared for possible conflict. The human fleet remained on high alert. In the council's capital, whispers of rebellion grew louder. Some leaders wanted to resist Earth's demands, believing they could crush humanity. Others feared the consequences of underestimating humans. Again, as the negotiations dragged on, General Mark knew the true battle was just beginning, not only on the battlefield, but within the shadows of galactic politics. Asterisk. The betrayal revealed days passed with tense talks and silent threats. The Council's promises felt hollow to General Mark. His instincts told him that not everyone wanted peace. One night, Mark received an encrypted message from an unexpected source, a low-ranking council officer who feared the secret group sabotaging the peace. The message revealed a plan, a secret attack on Earth's medical ships, intended to provoke full war and blame humans for breaking the truce. Mark's jaw tightened as he read the details. The Council's shadow faction was more dangerous than he thought. He shared the information with Lisa and his trusted commanders. We cannot wait. We must act first, but carefully. Mark ordered the fleet to quietly intercept the planned strike before it began. When the secret attack fleet approached Earth's medical convoy, they were met by human warships lying in wait. The battle was quick and brutal. Earth's forces destroyed the attackers with minimal losses. News of the foiled attack spread quickly through the galaxy. The Council was forced to admit the truth. The lead envoy, Talon, came again to Mark with a heavy heart. You were right. A faction tried to drag us into war. We will act against them. Mark nodded. Justice is only the start. We will watch closely. The Council's laughter was gone, replaced by fear and respect, but Mark knew the real fight was still ahead. Asterisk key. Rising storm. With the betrayal exposed, the Council faced turmoil. Many members demanded swift action against the rogue faction, while others remained silent. Uncertain or secretly supportive of continued conflict, General Mark used the moment to push for reforms. We want peace, but it must be lasting. We will stand guard, not just for Earth, but for the entire galaxy's future. Mark sent diplomats to help rebuild trust with Council members willing to cooperate. But the Shadow faction was not finished. Late one night, a powerful explosion rocked a key Council station. Evidence showed it was sabotage, meant to intimidate and derail peace efforts. Mark's fleet was ready. The human warships patrolled every sector, intercepting suspicious activity. A tense calm fell over the galaxy. But the threat lingered like a storm on the horizon. Anna's sacrifice had united humanity. They were no longer just a rising power. They were guardians of justice and honor. Mark stood on the deck of the Resolute, looking out into the stars. We've won a battle, but the war for peace is far from over. Asterisk knew the galaxy had changed. The Council, once dismissive and arrogant, now saw humanity in a new light. They were no longer the newcomers to be underestimated. They were a force to be reckoned with, guardians who demanded respect. General Mark's steady leadership and the sacrifice of Anna had shifted the balance of power. The rogue faction that had tried to ignite war was disbanded, and new rules were created. To ensure no group could act without full Council approval, peace talks resumed. This time with real hope. Human diplomats worked alongside their alien counterparts to build a safer galaxy, one where trust was earned through actions, not just words. On Earth, Anna's memory was honored as a symbol of courage and unity. Her story was told to every new recruit, reminding them why they fought. The Council's laughter was gone, replaced by cautious respect, and as General Mark watched the stars from his ship, he knew humanity had earned its place, not just as warriors, but as protectors of all life. The galaxy was watching, and humanity was ready.